U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has significantly backtracked on the Pentagon's earlier claims it was establishing a border force in Syria. However, Tillerson says the initial announcement was simply a misunderstanding.
The entire situation has been misportrayed, misdescribed. Some people misspoke. We're not creating a border security force at all.
The coalition is working jointly with the Syrian Democratic Forces to establish and train the new Syrian border security force.
Washington seems to have changed its tune after Turkey gave a furious reaction to the initial announcement. President Erdogan accused the U.S. of building a terrorist army on his border and vowed to destroy it. Our video news agency rapidly filmed Turkey's military equipment on the border with Syria as Ankara was preparing for a military operation. And despite Washington's eventual denial, on Wednesday, Tillerson was reinforcing the U.S. intention to stay.
Let us be clear. The United States will maintain a military presence in Syria, focused on ensuring ISIS cannot reemerge.
ISIS, as a so-called caliphate, is dead. Job done. The world can pat itself on the shoulder. Mission accomplished and all that. What's left of ISIS has gone underground, not the sort of thing you can fight with tanks and jets. So why is the United States now building an army in Syria? Considering Syria already has an army that can reliably keep ISIS in check, why would they need a second one? But okay, politics. The US really wants to stay in Syria.
We're going to stay for several reasons. Stabilization and assistance in the vital north and northeast, protection of our allies, the Syrian Democratic Forces, but for other reasons as well.
Let me show you something else. These are Turkish missiles, tanks, artillery. Turkey, a coalition member, preparing for an offensive against Syrian Kurds, the YPG, who are also part of the US-led coalition. The Turkish president isn't happy about America building an army of Kurds.
Now America's acknowledged it's established an army of terror along our country's border. It's up to us to drown this army of terror before it is born.
That's tough. Coalition-trained fighters are about to be attacked by a coalition member. What kind of alliance is that? Add to that, the US apparently told no one it was building a new army.
Any activities that we take part in with regard to the Syrian Democratic Forces is something that's internal only to Syria.
Internal or not, but SDF elements armed and trained by the US are reportedly on the move, preparing to defend against a Turkish offensive, a NATO member offensive with weapons given to them by Washington. How's that for a tragic twist? To expend so much strength, time and money to defeat ISIS, only to set the stage for another war. A war within the anti-ISIS coalition.
Earlier, Syria's main Kurdish party appealed to world powers to act on Turkey's threats. Kurds in Europe have taken to the streets to protest against Ankara's operations on the Turkish-Syria border. And we asked regional analysts about what to expect from Washington, which might have to make a choice between its NATO partner and its main ally in Syria.
We have to be honest. American right now using the Kurds as a boots in the ground, and nothing more, nothing less. And then also to put pressure on Turks, to put pressure on Russians to bring a peace deal to Syria and to get Iranian out of that area. And really, this is a sad thing. You know, America betrayed the Kurds in Iraq, and they're about ready to betray them in Syria. At this moment, they're only staying around just, again, to put a pressure on Turks and Russian to make a deal in Syria. And in our view, Turkey will not stand by and will invade the Kurdish area, and this is a serious mistake. And maybe America's allowing this to happen to kind of get Turkey in trouble.
Even I think the allies and the friends of the USA don't know exactly what the USA want. There is no clearance in their politics towards the region, especially towards the Kurds. Turkey and USA are members of the NATO. There's a problem if one member of NATO is treated, the others should actually help them, but now it is very difficult to say that the threat because it's coming from their ally, from USA, which supports these troops. If there is a real conflict with Turkey, sure USA will not back the Kurds to the end, and that is the problem for me.